Hi, Bill Henshaw here again. Another one of my YouTube videos on current events. And this one is a new development, and I'm going to have documents to add to the trial court packet on this. Because as you know, with recent events in Louisville with Breonna Taylor and George Floyd in Minneapolis and too many others to even mention, we are not able to get to the grand jury at the moment. You can tell that the local dumbass, whoever it is, doesn't have any interest in doing it because of the connections with the law enforcement thugs, two of the most powerful political action committees in state capitals, and they're not going to allow any of their members to be prosecuted unless it's so bad you can't stand it. In fact, I understand some cop in East Texas just got fired under an incredible set of circumstances, a video for another day. It does happen, but not nearly as often as it should. And what that means is that we have to find a way to get to the grand jury. Now, remember, from those of you who watched my earlier videos, the proper perspective here is we're in a principal and agent relationship with the damn state bar association attorneys, law enforcement thugs, you name it. If they're not going to do their jobs, we have the right to step in and do it for them. And that may include prosecuting some of these law enforcement thugs for second degree or first degree murder if it comes to that. So we'll see. But principal and agent, we the people ordain and establish this Constitution to secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. There is statutory authority here, Section 35 of the Judiciary Act of 1789. I don't know that as principles we need it, but it is there and is long antecedent to the revised statutes of 1874. So those of you out there listening, don't even use any federal laws enacted after 1874, and maybe not some of them even prior to that date, going back to the Reconstruction Act of 1867. But that said, I've got a letter I'll be including with my trial court packet to the local dumbass and some other people, telling them in no uncertain terms, either do your job or we're going to go to the grand jury and present charges, which we have every right to do. And then maybe follow up if they're not going to prosecute the charges we get at trial, we'll do that too. We have every right to do it. Principal and agent, that's the key here. That's what the government doesn't want you to know. The New York banksters don't want you to know, and why they're making every effort they can to destroy every vestige of the free white states that comprised this union in 1859. So that said, this is the way we get there. And you get to the grand jury, we're going to have to educate them because all the grand jury members come from 14th Amendment motor voter, meaning they're not going to have been taught a damn thing in the school system either. But we'll have to deal with that. And what we tell the grand jury is what the Supreme Court said in a case called Bad Elk v. United States, 177 U.S. 529. And that is they reversed the conviction for murder when Bad Elk was attacked by a guy with a badge, star, gun, the whole 9 yards. The struggle ensued, the cop was killed, and Bad Elk got convicted of murder. The Supreme Court reversed and said on the facts of this case, you probably can't convict him for manslaughter. There simply wasn't any warrant, any probable cause, nothing. And we have a right to self-defense. We may have to start to actively invoke that soon, the way things are going. I mean, law enforcement thugs think, they have unlimited power, like 007, a license to kill. I mean, it has to stop. It does. And if we all pull together across the spectrum, state citizens, Asians, Africans, we get the job done that much quicker. And if we ever get to a jury in a trial setting, and I never have and never will, they figured it out in Columbia, South Carolina, and in my Oakland felony case, you hit them with almost 600 jury instructions, to instruct the jury as to what the law is and what your positions are. If they deny you doing it, they've denied the right to trial by jury. And that's a major, one case like that on the record is going to reverse a lot of convictions too, not just our individual cases. But that's the way it is. And on day one, if I ever get there, I plan to apologize to the jury and say, I'm sorry there's so many instructions here, but they didn't teach you a thing in school either. You're going to have to understand what we know the law to be and what the Constitution says to bring in a proper verdict here. And once you do, you won't even have to go back into the room to deliberate. It's that simple. That's where we can make changes. The only independent arm of government we have, the grand jury and the jury. If we can't get there, then give it up. There's nothing we can do peacefully in any event to restore the government. That leaves some other options out there for another day, but you can see where it's headed and where it may in fact be headed. I hope we don't see that. I may not. I've got maybe 8 or 10 years. I don't know. I'm going to work my ass off to see that that doesn't happen and we get our government and constitution back. But that's where we're headed here. So that said, send me an email, uwinandcourt@gmail.com. I'll send information on my document packets and let you know what's available. I'll have some new documents coming up in the next few days after this video is uploaded. And I'll get those out to those who've already gotten the package. You'll get those as updates, part of the 1-year deal we have with that. And that said, get the word out. Tell your friends across a wide spectrum here. And people in civil rights, give it up already, Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. It doesn't work. It ain't going to work. It wasn't designed to work. And I can prove off the top of my head the 14th Amendment doesn't exist. Quit staying in positions of power on the backs of your own people. Do your job or get the fuck out of the way. Enough already. We have to go a different direction, and it's the one I'm heading, and I have the portfolio to support all of it. That said, subscribe, like my videos, tell your friends, get the word out. The more people we have doing this across a wider spectrum, the quicker we get our government and our rights back. Thank you.